Let me tell you about the drawer. It's still in my room. Second cabinet. Bottom right, with slightly cracked at the corner. I haven't opened it in 43 years. Not because I forgot about it, because I remember exactly what's inside. And what's inside is my unfinished life. You see, people think regret comes from failure. It doesn't. Failure is loud. Failure gives closure. Regret is silent. It lives in things that never began. When I was 27, I bought a leather journal. Soft brown, hand-stitched, expensive enough to feel like a commitment. The first page had only one sentence. Start when you're ready. I believed readiness was wisdom. Turns out, it was fear. Inside that drawer is that journal. Empty. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I kept waiting to become someone worth writing about. At 30, I postponed a business idea. It wasn't perfect yet. I needed more planning, more savings. A friend of mine launched something similar 6 months later. It failed, but he learned. He grew. He tried again. 10 years later, he retired early. I spent those same 10 years becoming more prepared. At 35, I delayed proposing to a woman who already knew my silence meant love. I told myself, first stability, then commitment. She told me, life doesn't wait for stability. I smiled. I nodded. I delayed. Someone else didn't. At 41, I postponed taking my mother on the trip she always dreamed about. I was busy building a future she wouldn't even be part of. There's always next year, I told her. Next year, she forgot my name. At 50, I delayed forgiveness. A friend betrayed me. Not deeply, just enough to bruise my pride. I waited for the right apology. It never came. Instead, news of his death did. And suddenly, winning the argument felt like losing a lifetime. And through all of this, the drawer kept filling. Ticket stubs from trips I never took. Business plans I never started. Letters I never sent. Resignation drafts I never submitted. A plane ticket refund receipt from the day I chose comfort over adventure. Do you know what's strange? Nothing in that drawer is dramatic. No disasters. No scandals. No tragedies. Just postponed beginnings. Life didn't collapse for me. It narrowed. Slowly. Quietly. Respectably. I became successful enough to avoid questions. Comfortable enough to avoid risks. Busy enough to avoid truth. People praised my discipline. But it wasn't discipline. It was hesitation dressed as responsibility. I mastered the art of later. Later when things calm down. Later when money is right. Later when confidence comes. Later when timing improves. Later became my religion. But here's the cruel joke. Later never arrives. Because later is not a time. Later is a hiding place. At 63, I finally opened the drawer. Not out of courage, out of boredom. And for the first time, I saw my life not as it was, but as it could have been. There was a half-written speech for a book launch I never pursued. There was a gym membership card still unused. There was a photo of a small seaside town where I once planned to move. On the back, I had written, someday. That word is poison. Someday sounds hopeful. But most of the time, it's a polite way of saying never. At 72, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't afraid of failure. I was afraid of exposure. Because try means finding out who you really are. And I preferred imagining potential over confronting limits. You see, as long as the journal stayed empty, I could still pretend I was meant for something great. Once I wrote in it, reality would replace fantasy. So I protected my dreams by never testing them. And now at 104, I understand the drawer was never the problem. It was the mindset that created it. The belief that life improves with delay. That timing must be perfect. That readiness must precede action. Readiness is a myth. Action creates readiness. Movement creates clarity. Failure creates direction. But waiting? Waiting creates nothing. Except regret. I sometimes wonder, what if I'd started badly? Spoken awkwardly? Loved imperfectly? tried foolishly, maybe I would have failed. But at least my life would be filled with stories instead of unopened pages. So if you have your own drawer, your own journal, your own someday, understand this. Life doesn't punish hesitation. It simply moves on without you. Start before you feel ready. Speak before you're confident. Forgive before you're asked. Love before it makes sense. Move before comfort convinces you to stay. Because one day, you will open your own drawer, and what you find inside will either be memories or possibilities that died waiting.